Hey guys, how you doing? So today I would like to teach you how to play over this infamous track that Guthrie Govan, if you don't know him, definitely check him out, okay. How he played over this Larry Carlton style jam track, which he did for JTC Guitar ages ago. I think it must have been 2006 or 7. It was one of the first videos I'd ever seen Guthrie do, and needless to say it made a big impact on my life, and you know, it's just crazy that how this guy just keeps getting better and better. But yeah, you go and watch the video. I'll post it below. I'm also going to post the backing track below so you can have a go at playing over it after I teach you some little bits of how I approach it. Yeah, if you haven't, please, it really does help me out. Like the video, please make a comment, please give me some feedback, and I will answer if you have any questions also. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed as well, please do that. It helps me out a lot, and it keeps me doing what I love to do, which is like teaching and playing. So how do we approach playing over this track? So firstly, we need to understand what the chords, well, what's happening harmonically, okay? So the key of this track is in C minor. So I'm looking at this as chord 1, okay? So I'll just play the chord progression for you that basically goes on throughout the whole track. It's quite repetitive, and it's got a minor blues feel to it. If you don't know what a minor blues is or how the chords work on that, go and check out some like B.B. King or The Thriller's Gone or something like that. It's basically a minor blues, but a bit more vamped up and you know, a bit more higher tempo kind of thing going on. So but yeah, anyway, I'll quit talking and I'll just play what the progression is. Okay, so that is all it is. You have a C minor, these are the chords in it. C minor 7, chord 1, going to F minor 7, which would be chord 4 in the key, back to C minor 7, and then it goes back to F minor 7, back to C minor 7. Then you have this kind of turnaround thing going on, okay? So it goes to the flat 6, which is your A flat major 7, going to the 5 of the 1, okay? So the 5 chord, your dominant chord, okay, is a G7 or a G altered in this case. You can play G7, okay, so I'm just playing a G7 here. So this is your 5 chord, so your key is C minor, okay, and then you go to its dominant 5th chord, which would be your G7, okay. You find this a lot in turnarounds and in jazz, and you know, it's kind of a lot of jazz standards will have the 5 going back to the 1. So it's important you can see that movement, okay? So we have that A flat major 7, so the G altered, back to A flat major 7, to the G altered. He does put in, like, you've got the sharp 5 here. I think he might do the sharp 9 and flat 9 as well. I don't know who did the backing track originally. Like I say, it's JTC, so whoever did that kind of changes it each time. I'll post it below again, and you can have a go over it and have a listen for yourself. So that is the structure of the track, not too complicated. And you can be really simple over this. Now I'm probably going to do this video into 2 parts because there's a lot that can go on. So this first part I'm going to keep relatively simple and have a look at what you can do. So you can do a super zoomed out approach. And what do I mean by that? You can just think, this is a C minor, I'm just going to play within the key center of C minor. So you can use C minor pentatonic and C natural minor, okay? So if you know those around the neck, perfect, you can play over them. However, because this has got quite a strong chord, some strong chord changes going on, okay, even though it's pretty diatonic, it's really important, I think, when listening, and if you listen to the improvisation at the start, I'm hitting the chord tones, and I'm playing stuff over the alto chord and through the changes as well, but I will probably do this in maybe part 2 or 3, depends how long this can go on for. I could speak all day on this kind of thing, but I'm just going to keep it relatively simple for this moment in time. So, like I say, you can play the minor pentatonic and the natural minor over it. However, it's really important that we can pick out the chord tones of each chord. So how do we do this? Firstly, you need to know your triads, okay? It's super important that you can pick out chord tones anywhere on the neck, okay? Or wherever part of the neck you're playing in, as long as you can see them straight away. This takes time. This is not an overnight thing, okay? So I'm going to show you how I would approach to playing over the changes of this. I would take a section of the neck and see if I can play it everywhere, or all the things that I want to play in one part of the neck. So take a 5-6 fret kind of section of the guitar, stick to it, see if you can play the changes of the chords. So say if I'm in this position of C, here's my pentatonic position 1, okay, I know that. Do I know my natural minor scale in this position? Yes, okay. Perfect. Now it's picking up the chord tones, and this is where maybe guitarists, I don't know, guitarists are a bit late to the party on this kind of stuff. And if you've done some jazz, then you're not. But if you're coming from a rock background, maybe you are. So it's really important that you can play and pick out triads. Excuse me, I've got a cold as well, so doing this one a bit ill. But yeah, so C minor, chord 1. Where are my triads? So when I'm playing, I am thinking where is my root, my flat 3 and my 5 around the area I want to play in. Really important, okay? So I can see my roots here. Now every interval that I see, I'm looking it against the root note. So if I'm around here and I see the root C, I can see my flat 3, I can see my 5 there, I can also see my root there, and then I can see my flat 3 here, I can see my 5, my 1. So over the C minor chord of this track, I am seeing my intervals, okay? Really important that you can see those triads. So again, I have 1, flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3, 5, back to my 1. When it goes to the 4 chord, okay, your F minor 7, again, I can stick I'm sticking to the key center, C minor, okay? Let's just say you're new to this. There is other scales you can use over the C and F, by the way. You can use like other things, which I'll explain maybe in a later video, part 2. But at the moment, just keep to the minor pentatonic and natural minor. And then I'm going to pick the chord tones around that. So when it goes to the F minor 7, I'm seeing my chord tones around there of that F minor 7. So I've got my 1, pick up the triads. I can see my 5th below that, by the way, as well. 1, flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3, 5. If you wanted to play the C minor 7 and the chord tones, you know, the arpeggio, you can add in the flat 7 obviously there and there for the F minor 7. Over the C, your flat 7 would be here and there. But pick out the triads first. So say if I just wanted to go from chords 1 to 4. Now I'm just going to play it super slow, maybe do 4 bars on the C, C minor, and then go to chords 4 and see if you can hear the changes without no backing track, without anything going on in the background, just very isolated. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so on the change, I isolated that flat 3 of the F. And then obviously when it goes back to the 1 chord, then I would land on the chord tone of the C. I hope that makes sense. But what I'm going to do to finish off the lesson is I'm just going to go through the progression with no track going on, like I say, and see if you can hear where those changes are. Okay, so let me just play the chords again just so it's in your head. So I have. Okay, so that's the chord progression. Now I'm going to go through it. So just for the lead playing, hitting the chord tones on the changes. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that kind of thing, I'm really just not thinking phrasing or some improvisation, magic. I'm just trying to see the chord tones on the change. So one thing you can just do is just isolate playing quarter notes and then trying to hit the chord change on the 1. So you could be like 1. So I'm C minor, F, back to C minor, A flat, G, A flat, G, C, F, G. Okay, then back to the 1. So hopefully you can kind of hear it there. But when the backing is there for you, it's giving you that aid. But it's really important that you can do it yourself. Isolated, that might not make sense to a lot of people, but it's when you have the track you can really hear. So the first part of this video, like I say, I'm going to do a few parts. The first part is to be able to see your chord tones over each chord. Well, no, the first part would be try and play it within the key first, minor pentatonic, natural minor. Secondly, pick out the chord tones that you want to play and choose to. So it's important that you know your triads first. I'm not going to teach you the triads in this. So there's plenty of places online if you want to see where or how to do triads. But if you do know them, that is what I would do. Try and stick to one part of the neck and find them in one area. Okay. I'm going to be doing a part 2 on this tomorrow. I thought I could get this in one lesson, but nah, it's impossible. So I will do a part 2 for you, and we'll get into some more advanced and get to the juicy stuff there. So like I say, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers guys.